Welcome back.
Thanks a lot, D-Line.
Welcome to hell.
I thought I made it pretty clear. This is not hell, it's purgatory. We're waiting for hell.
Don't you dare say that
Stop
word.
that.
Don't you take that back.
I won't.
I
You
didn't
take that
miss
back.
you.
I'll never take it back.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Losers Lounge. We are presented by Bet365, Never Ordinary. Nuggets fall tonight in Cleveland to the Cavs, 121-109. A disheartening loss, I thought. And, man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm Harrison Wynn, joined by Brendan Vogt.
Oh, man. Let's go long tonight, boys. Let's go long. I know everyone's feeling it. That was tough. That was the worst one of the year so far.
It might be the worst loss of the year. The Timberwolves loss was rough, but at least that was to a team I respect a lot more than Cleveland. Also joined by, in his first game back from Serbia, D-Line.
Yes, bringing with me a poo-poo platter of disinterested Nuggets, missing starters, Tony Brothers, and Cleveland nightlife, dude. Undefeated.
Or was it New Orleans nightlife?
It was definitely New Orleans nightlife. Yeah, that was rough, you guys. I don't remember the Nuggets being. Is this what they're like? I remember them being like dope.
I actually said on the last Losers Lounge that we did that all the Nuggets are not good.
Well,
Also joined by Superstar Dev.
Do you guys remember when we used to be in like winners lounges and things were like fun? Remember how much fun we were having weeks ago?
we moved into the winner's mansion.
Yeah.
Now we're slumming it in the losers lounge, dude.
We've been evicted. We are now in the losers lounge, and we just continue to come here, and it's no fun.
It's a rough place to be right now, but we got to talk about this one. Like I said, a lot to get into. Nuggets lose 121-109. They're now 0-2 to start this 5-game road trip, a road trip that I predict they go 4-1 on. So, off to a hot start there.
Same.
And I had the one loss
Same. It's
to
good,
the Rockets.
It's good to be mathematically out of that prediction 2 games in.
Done with it.
Yeah.
Finished.
So I don't have to sweat that.
I have no read on this team right now.
What the hell was I thinking?
Should we get to a fast break, quick
Oh my God!
breakdown?
Only
Break
if
it
it's
down, baby.
Mercifully quick.
All right. First note I have, 2 early threes for Michael Porter Jr.
Let's go.
He had a good shooting night tonight. I think he might have broken out of the slump. But my second note, bad defense early.
Not let's go.
These are great notes.
That will prove to be a constant theme throughout this entire game.
Okay.
Strus, Garland, George Niang getting open threes early. Early Zeke Naji minutes. Pre-game, Mike Malone talked about wanting to get Zeke Naji on the floor with Nikola Jokic more. He went to that early. Unfortunately, 2 quick fouls on Nikola Jokic meant that Zeke only just played a couple possessions next to him. Another early note, Justin Holiday in over Peyton Watson, guys. P-Watt, DNP coach's decision tonight. Did not even get on the floor in garbage time.
1 game off of surprising fourth quarter minutes. So we're all over the place here.
Interesting. Nuggets trail 29-27 after the first quarter. Into the second now, Michael Porter Jr. staggering with the second unit, but the Cavs came out and were scoring easily again to open the second quarter. They did so on a 12-4 run. Michael Malone went back to his starters really quickly in the second quarter. It seemed like he lost all trust in his bench, and you really couldn't blame him. Craig Porter Jr.
Dude,
for the Cleveland Cavs.
Yeah, Craig.
The greatest Porter Jr. of all time.
I can't believe what they're doing right now. Last game, a Najee got off.
Yeah.
This game, a Porter Jr. got off.
Just the latest guy who we don't know to have his career night against the Nuggets. He had 9 early points. He's on a 2-way contract for the Cavs this season.
Dude, everyone is hyped for Porter Jr.'s talk. They cannot believe.
A lot of Craig Porter Jr. fans in the bar
Mega
tonight.
Craig Porter
Other
Jr.
teams are
fans.
having fun. And I want that back.
Michael Malone, he lost trust in his bench, but he did go to Julian Strawther. Down 46-33 in the second quarter, looking for some offensive juice. Boom, immediate 11-0 Nuggets run that I think started with Nikola Jokic Sombor shuffle. Denver got this thing back to 46-44. It was a game again. Then Aaron Gordon got a technical for slapping the backboard on a dunk. But Julian Strawther 3 got a dunk on the other end. He blocked a 3, then got a dunk on the other end. Nuggets found a lineup that really worked with Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, KCP. That lineup was cooking. Nuggets trailed 66-58 at halftime. Third quarter is when things got out of hand in this one. Cavs opened the quarter like they did every quarter by defending really well. Darius Garland got into the paint seemingly whenever he wanted to. He was creating 2-on-1s. Cavs were putting Jokic in the pick and roll. Every possession was ending, it felt like, with a Cavs dunk.
Yep.
Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, wide open at the rim on alley-oops. Then this game ended with Nikola Jokic getting 2 straight offensive foul calls, his 4th and 5th calls on back-to-back possessions.
That truly was the end of the game.
Both called by Tony Brothers. We'll get into it later. He goes to the bench. Nuggets down 17. They got it to 13 in the 4th, but
got it to 13.
they didn't get any closer. Those 2 offensive fouls on back-to-back possessions ended this one. That sent Nikola Jokic to the bench. Denver loses 109-121. They're 0-2 on this 5-game road trip right now. Tough loss. Let's go to big takeaways.
Woo!
Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go for it.
This feels like the Nuggets. The Nuggets that I've grown up with, that I love, that I've been in the mud with. Like, we're back down in the mud. The Nuggets have a road trip on the East Coast every year that feels this bad, where it's just as hapless. You're like, what are they doing? Are they interested? This is one of these games that like snapped me right back into why do I care more about these games than the Denver Nuggets themselves do? It's like a warm blanket of disappointment, disgust. I was like, do we need more in-season tournament games? Are we already in the dog days?
Well, I'll say to that, thank God for the in-season tournament.
Truly, like, this is one of these games where you look and the opponents of the NBA, people that say like, oh, we need fewer games, blah, 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 like they never try, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, they have a point. They have a point. This is a terrible effort through and through by every single Denver Nugget. And you get like 10 to 12 of these efforts a year.
Absolutely.
This was one of them, and it was terrible to behold. But you know what? I did it with the fellas, and it didn't help at all. It was awful.
Yeah. If I had to steal a line from what I think Michael Malone's post-game press conference is going to entail, he's going to say that the Nuggets did not make the Cavs feel them tonight.
Oh, for sure.
He's saying that 100%.
God damn it.
Last year, the Nuggets struggled on the road, and they were mostly really good all season long, tremendous in the playoffs. So it was, understandably overlooked. It didn't matter, but it was part of their win profile going into the playoffs where you look at it and go, they're so much better at home than on the road. And Malone did challenge that to be different this year. Now, right now, there's an overarching big takeaway that's Jamal Murray's out, and that's affecting everything. But you can't talk about that all night, every night. Mm-hmm. The Nuggets are now 7-0 at home and 2-4 on the road. So they've got these road games here coming up that they need them to be wins to try to turn this around. But so far, it is a team that's coming out relatively flat on the road as opposed to home, whether Jamal's in there or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. That's absolutely been the case. The good news is that the next game is against the Detroit Pistons.
That is good
Who
news.
have lost 11 in a row.
That is great news because my takeaway is that all of the starters are bad.
Oh, man.
I can't believe
Jeff
how
hates that shirt so much, man.
I can't believe
You're
how
bringing it up
bad.
every postgame show.
It's been happening.
It's more than a shirt.
It's been happening.
It's more than a shirt. It's a mantra. It's a
If
lifestyle.
somebody buys this shirt tonight,
Take it down.
they can come on the show.
It's wild, really, to see how they're playing right now.
Yeah.
And like even more to that takeaway, the Cavs came in with the specific game plan and they executed it. And Denver was not ready to respond
they
back
got
to what they
executed.
were doing. They really did not let them fill them. They didn't let them fill them. And we seen that from like the opening tip. Cavs just dominated this game, and Denver's starters did not set the tone, which bled into the to the bench. So rough game all around, but especially for the starters.
If you look at the plus minuses tonight,
I'd rather not.
well, we've got to for a second. I know you don't want to. I know it's going to hurt your agenda corner segment that's coming up
It's not
later.
great.
Plus minus doesn't always tell the story to a game.
Sometimes
it did tonight,
does,
though.
Sometimes it does.
Michael Porter Jr. was a minus 31 in 27
Whoa, what?
minutes.
Minus
Reggie
30.
Jackson was a minus 28 in 21 minutes.
Bro,
Jesus.
I just, before we get into agenda corner, those were the two guys I was looking for tonight.
Yeah.
I said in the pregame, I was looking at Reggie Jackson and Michael Porter Jr. to step up.
Hey, you were right. Those were big X
Why
factors.
didn't- I didn't-
Those were two tipping points of the game.
I did not make a proclamation or a prediction. I said I was looking for the two of them to step up. They did not.
You jinxed them.
I jinxed it. Why? By mentioning their names?
They were bad today.
They suck.
Aaron Gordon was a minus 18. Nikola Jokic minus 16. KCP minus 13. All of the starters were in the double-digit negatives. It gets worse, though. Jarrett Allen played 29 minutes in this game. He was a plus 42.
Plus 42.
He was
Brother,
15,
what?
5, and 5.
Dude,
Plus 42 in 29 minutes.
I swear to God, Jokic has never been plus 42.
Plus 42 is insane.
Plus
Tristan Thompson was a minus 23 in 11 minutes.
in 10 minutes. So that was talk about a swing factor.
my
Yeah,
God.
Wynn mentioned in the breakdown that there were a lot of dunks
Yes.
out of the pick and roll, lobs to a lot of bigs. Those bigs including Jarrett Allen, if not also Jarrett Allen throwing lobs himself to other bigs.
Yeah.
I actually want to know if that was the game plan, because that's what I talked about, like with them executing, because it was pretty clear that they were like, we're gonna have Darius Garland like just get into the paint, to like get into the teeth of the defense, throw it up. Somebody's gonna dunk it, and they had two options the entire time. Jared Allen's dunking, Evan Mobley's dunking every single time, and they just kept repetitively running it. And Denver did not adjust to what they were putting down. So that was perfect on their end, and Denver's going to have to find a way to stop that, because I think other teams are going to try to get into that as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Dev, because that, when I think back to this game, what I'm going to remember most is...
You're going to think back to this game?
Hopefully not. But if I do, if for some weird, odd reason I'm ever thinking back to this
It
game,
was self-loathing spiral.
what I will remember is Jared Allen and Evan Mobley getting uncontested dunks at the rim.
Yeah.
And this might have been one of the few games where putting Nikola Jokic in the pick and roll actually worked,
Spammed him.
because they just had him in that drop all game. And Cleveland's guards were just getting into the paint, creating 2-on-1s, and boom, those guys were wide open at the rim all night for dunks. I mean, Evan Mobley went 8 of 11. I don't know how Jared Allen only went 6 of 10. But, I mean, the points in the paint were great for Cleveland, and they also shot 11 of 27 from 3. They got to the line 26 times. And, fellas, that's actually where my actual big takeaway is. Because if you look at the final free throw numbers, it looks pretty even. The officiating crew made it look even by the end of the night. Cavs shot 26 free throws. The Nuggets shot 23. It was not even for most of this game. And I want to go back to where this game ended.
Yep.
It ended
2 possessions in a row.
2 possessions in a row in the third quarter where Nikola Jokic got called for back-to-back offensive fouls.
And the second one was a
Flagrant
flagrant one.
It was reviewed and upgraded to a flagrant one.
Unbelievable.
They were both called by Tony Brothers.
Yeah, you really don't want to blame a game on refs, because Denver really did not play well in this game, but they still had a chance. And also, Jokic is getting hit on every single play like that. You saw the frustration, like, you know, take on a new role with him. Like, he was getting hit so much that he was like, I have to be aggressive. Cavs were sending 2 people at him every time. They're fouling him on his shot attempts. And he tried to play through it. But then at some point, you're like, F this. You know, like, I'm done with this. And you've seen that. You've seen him, make those plays in a row. And the second one, it was for sure offensive foul. But he was just so mad about the first one. And he's still getting fouled. And even on that play, he's getting grabbed. Yes, he hit him in the face, but he's still getting grabbed. And it's like, this is what I'm going through every single play. So you don't want to put it on the refs, but we hate Tony Brothers. We hate him. Everybody hates him.
I'm making a new shirt.
Yeah, Tony Brothers has weirdly, I put this out pregame, he's weirdly reffed already 3 games this season, 3 Nuggets games this season. And it's been like 3 in the last 3 weeks, which is very high, but I don't really know what's going on there.
Whenever I see him on the screen, my heart sinks every time.
So I thought the first one was a very questionable call. The second offensive foul, the one that they upgraded to a flagrant one, that was definitely an offensive foul. But that was a foul, and Jokic did that absolutely on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
It was because he was frustrated from only going to the line once up until that point in 22 minutes.
Yeah.
That was a total frustration offensive foul from Nikola Jokic, man. And if I'm Michael Malone, I think it's gotten to a point where I've got to step up for my guy and take a fine or at least take a technical foul.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of getting out of control, man. Here's some numbers to think about. Nobody in the NBA shoots more shots in the paint, non-restricted area than Nikola Jokic so far this season.
Yep.
He leads the NBA in post-ups. He touches the ball more than anybody else in the league. He leads the NBA in touches. He spends so much time in the paint every game. Somehow, he's 14th in free throw attempts per game. 14th. That's crazy to me. I mean, it's funny. We've been talking about why Nikola Jokic is taking so many threes this season. Maybe the actual answer is because he can't get a goddamn call in the paint.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I doing? Like, I'm done with this post-up business if I can't get a call. Those, to me, were, like, mostly 2 frustration offensive fouls where Nikola Jokic was just fed up. And to be honest, I can't blame him. That was my real big takeaway from tonight.
that was big.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Jokic, this is one of those games that's rarer and rarer where he just decides the opponent is the referee. And you can understand why or not. When it comes to talking about it on the show or writing grades, like, all the same, the bar you hold Jokic to is not having that reaction and winning the game anyway. And this was not a good Jokic effort in that regard. I definitely understand the fact that he's getting fouled every time in the paint. Yeah. I definitely understand that element of it. But look, it's pregame. Harrison brought up the point of Jokic needs to be near perfect for them to win right now. Well, if Jokic is going to be in foul trouble / essentially a non-factor in this game because of it, then they're going to get blown out, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, this was a perfect storm for Nikola Jokic. This was pre-Jokmas, Eastern road trip, coming off of a location like New Orleans, like he already like didn't really have it. Plus Tony Brothers was there, like he didn't really have it, but like Jokic has been born anew. But like in every season prior to this season, there would be a game where, in years past, it'd be like Jokic would shoot one time, or Jokic would, like, there'd be some sort of like visible protest to either the coaching staff or the referees or the NBA in general, or maybe the U.S. culture. I don't know, where he would just be like, I don't want to do this. I'm not interested in doing this.
U.S. culture.
I don't want to do this. This is not interesting to me. Like, I don't want to be the person that is. The game is solely responsible for the outcome of the Denver Nuggets. And tonight he just like was like, F it, I don't care, I'm done. Yeah. And he like truly like those 2 plays in a row, yes. The first one questionable, and yes, you saw something snap at him and he was like, okay, all right, fuck it.
Yeah,
like,
a championship has changed this mindset, but there have been, and I'm sure there still are people, not as many or not as loud, that question how important Jamal Murray is to this team. That have questioned how much Jokic has to be perfect in these type of games. And we just seen what it looks like when he's not perfect in the game or close to it, where they get blown out by a Cavs team that's missing their best player.
Yep.
Like, because he was just not perfect. Like, he's that important that he has to show up and be consistent the entire time. He can't put himself in foul trouble. He can't, sit for long stretches. He can't be anything but great every single night, or this is what happens.
Yep.
So, like, these are those type of reminder games of, like, be excited about what you have when it's here. Because it could look like this, and we have seen it look like this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Let's hit a break. Lots more to get to on the other side. Stick around. A little later, we're going to get into Agenda Corner.
Oh, yeah, dude. Let's do a checkup on some of agendas.
Can't wait for that.
That was not an ordinary Jokic game, not an ordinary Nuggets game, really. In a much better way, you can make all the other games, every other play, never ordinary with Bet365 as well. When you sign up with Bet365 and use code DNVR365, you get two choices: a first bet safety net of $1,000 or bet $5, get $150 when you sign up with code DNVR365. And if you've been on that app lately, you might have noticed Nux is on there. Eric's, our mascot, designed by Eric's hand.
That's
Nux
right.
is a hand. So
Let's ride.
The hand from the hand.
Was that based off your hand?
I would, if you look at it, it's like very anatomically suspect. So no.
Okay.
But if you see Nux, you're seeing a DNVR custom bet. We have tons of them up at Bet365 for all of our different beats this year. Ride with DNVR and use code DNVR365 at sign up. You have to be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. And you know what's cool? Sandwiches. You know what's better? Hoagies. You know what's best?
Hoagie.
Primo hoagies.
I could go for one right
Dude,
now,
I could-
man.
I could
that
eat-
classic Italian.
I could eat Jokic's weight in hoagies right now.
No matter what your go-to hoagie is, there's no
Therapy
bigger crowd
hoagies.
pleaser than Primo hoagies. That's
Yeah.
because they're made only with the highest quality Thumans meats and cheeses, sliced fresh to order and served on Primo's award-winning seeded rolls, baked fresh every day. With locations in both Denver and Centennial, you can order party trays in advance and online at primohoagies.com. Use code DNVR for $2 off a Primo-sized hoagie when ordering online. It's not just a hoagie, it's Primo.
Back here on the DNVR Nuggets post-game lounge, the Losers Lounge. We're presented by Bet365, never ordinary. Nuggets fall tonight in Cleveland to the Cavs, 121-109. Quick 0-2 start on this 5-game road trip. They are in a back-to-back, though. They are in Detroit against the Pistons tomorrow night, who have lost 11 games in a row. So hopefully they can get that one. Let's go down the box score, talk about some other guys' nights. Let's go to Michael Porter Jr. I did shout out his minus 31 in 27 minutes earlier, but he did have 21 points. He did shoot 5 of 9 from three-point range. He did have 6 rebounds. I did not think the defense was great tonight, but honestly, man, more importantly, in fact, I felt like he found his three-point shot tonight.
He did.
I felt he was more confident and just his shot looked smooth tonight. He was really just looking to take it all game, except early in the first quarter when he passed up one and then drove right into Evan Mobley at the rim.
Right.
But other than that, I felt like this was probably a game where we could say he might have rediscovered, found his three-point shot again.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it came in a game where his defense wasn't there, and I thought he made a lot of mistakes just in terms of reading the floor on both sides of the ball. But he looked a lot more confident with the jumper.
Yeah.
The step back one he hit that was essentially contested, except not really, because when Porter's stepping back like that, like there's no real contest. That's a shot that he's not taking, let alone making if he's not feeling more comfortable. That to me was the one where I was like, okay, he felt a little bit of the Mike that he typically feels when he shoots. So that part was really good. 21 and 6 isn't awful, but defensively, it wasn't there tonight. So one game off of saying everything else is there, now we're just waiting for the shot. It was a little bit of whack-a-mole. Having said that, I will take the shot. The shot looking good and him looking confident. That's a small dub in this much larger L.
I think this was like a bittersweet game for
Which part
Michael
was
Porter
sweet?
Jr. Because I think that
The
this was
five
the game.
plays.
This is the game that he needed. This is not the game that the Nuggets needed
It's
for
true,
him.
yeah, you're right.
He needs to get himself going. He needs to get his confidence up and be able to just shoot the ball and score. And he did that in this game. It just was not Nuggets basketball when he did score. Like, he's not, this was not like a ball is popping part of the offense type of game for him. He's like forcing shots. He's taking contested mid-ranges, which are not contested for him, but it's still not the flow of the offense. Turned down a few passes that he could have made for like entry passes or getting other people going. But he was like, hey, I'm going to get myself going in this game. Also, there was a lot of defensive lapses. And I keep on remembering the rebound that he tried to grab out of Aaron Gordon's hand that went out of bounds, and then they hit the three. And I'm like, that's just kind of like the plays that you see from him at times, where he wants to make the right play or do like, something, but it's kind of selfish in a way that it like ruins other things around him. So while I think that Michael Porter Jr. was okay and happy with this game, I don't know if it was a step in the right direction for Denver. So two things could be like true at the same time, and I think that both of them in the long run help because you need to get him to get going, but also you want him to get back to Nuggets offense.
It was just encouraging from the three-point shot.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That was really it. This did feel like a Michael Porter Jr. game from a couple of years ago, though.
Even down to the weak hands, kind of like on the fast break.
Oh yeah, dude, we haven't really talked about his weak hands in a long time.
We haven't.
It's
man.
funny though. We were talking about the weird. I mean,
He's finished a couple great dunks this year,
it's
though.
true. For everything, there are always unintended consequences. And this new era of Michael Porter Jr., like getting in there, getting rebounds, like the past 3 or 4 games, like there's been at least one time where Michael Porter Jr. has knocked the rebound out of somebody else's hand. And it's, it's like you saw it again this game, like you mentioned. I kind of feel like, I truthfully, like, I don't think a single Nugget had a good game, like, in any way, shape, or form. I really think this was the poorest effort I've seen from this squad, top to bottom, from absolutely every member. Michael Porter Jr., there were, like, a few Mike moments in the first half. I do remember screaming Mike like a moron, like 6 or 7 times.
He
Which
did
is
have
like
10 points in the first.
Yeah, which is, you look at that, it's like, goddamn. But they were getting beat. It's I feel like I saw Nuggets basketball happen in about a 1 minute span only in this entire game. Like there was like a sequence where Aaron Gordon made a sick touch pass to Jokic under the rim, and there was like a couple times where it was sort of moving and like people were making the right move, but like the energy wasn't there, the requisite like effort, the want to, all the things that you like get mad at NBA basketball players for leaving out on the floor, just like not showing up. It was just there the whole time. It was just so obvious early too. It was just like this is going to be one of these games. I just just pack up. Like Dev had his shoes off. You know what I mean? Like Dev was like ready for a sleep. Like he's ready for a sleepover.
Like
there
you
were
mentioned,
crumbs
man,
on the
there
couch.
are-
I think Dev had a pizza party here in the third.
How are you gonna call my guy out
Well, I'm just
for the
that's what kind of night it was.
backstage vibe?
That's what kind of night it was.
It was that kind of night.
Yeah. But like you said, there are 10 games like this every season. This was one of them.
Yes.
no
dude,
doubt.
can I take my shoes off now or no?
Please don't. To the point you brought up, though, there was a quick moment this game when it did feel like Nuggets basketball. And that was, I believe, in the second quarter. The Nuggets were down 38-46. Michael Malone goes to a lineup featuring Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. A couple minutes later, the score was tied 53-53.
Yep.
It was a monstrous run. And I wonder, after all the talk about the bench, and we're going to be continuing to talk about it a lot over the next couple weeks until Jamal Murray gets back, maybe this was a stagger type of lineup that Michael Malone found with Julian Strawther and Christian Brown next to 3 Nuggets starters. That lineup popped off tonight.
Yeah.
They were getting stops. They were running in transition. They were getting easy buckets. No traditional point guard, but you've got Nikola Jokic. You've got 2 absolute lockdown defenders, your 2 best defenders on your team in Christian Brown and KCP. You've got Aaron Gordon out there too, and then you got a lights-out shooter, Julian Strawther, to go with another lights-out shooter in Caldwell-Pope. that lineup was awesome tonight, and I wonder if it's something the Nuggets look to go back to in these next few games or for as long as Jamal Murray's out for. Did you guys like that lineup?
I did. My first thought, though, listening to you say that is I don't really know how much is carrying over right now, like lineup-wise, night to night.
From game to game, yeah.
Like Malone is kind of all over the place, and I don't even necessarily mean that as a criticism. It's just you get like the all-5 bench lineup in the first half last game, then he shortens the rotation, but then he brings Peyton back for those fourth quarter minutes, but then it's Justin Holiday in for Peyton tonight.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a back-to-back, but that actually only, first half of a back-to-back, but that actually only exacerbates this dynamic. Maybe there was something to that, but I don't know if I expect to see it again. Like, it just kind of feels like things are being thrown against the wall right now.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Malone, he definitely has very little trust in his bench right now. He's just trying to get good lineups out there. Like you mentioned, Justin Holiday in for Peyton Watson tonight. Zeke Naji did get 14 minutes at backup center, so he did get more run than he's gotten in the last couple games. Julian Strawther did not play in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But then ended up playing 20 minutes tonight. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air with the bench.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're talking about, like I said in the pregame show, like the Nuggets are very delicate. Their ecosystem is devastating and delicate. Like, losing Jamal Murray throws absolutely everything out of whack, off kilter, and you get to the point where Michael Malone is, doing like we have seen in years and years and years past, where you're just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know who wants to play tonight. A coach like Michael Malone is like, I don't think everything he does is for strategic reasons as far as X's and O's are concerned or matchups are concerned. I think a lot of times he's doing things to send messages to his team, like, if you need to show me that you want to play, and if not, then I'm going to put the guy behind you out there and you're going to watch him play, or I'm just going to do things. If it's not going well, like, I'm not just going to ride what we have deemed the bench into the ground. Like, I'm going to try some stuff out. Like, you guys got to prove to me that you want it. And, like, that's just his leadership style. And, I just think there's a lot of that. Like, Julian Strawther had a little bit of, he had a little juice tonight, like, a little strawberry juice. He wasn't great, but, like, nobody was great. Like,
yeah.
I hated that.
Yeah.
Strawberry juice.
Yeah, I know.
You not a fan of strawberry
There's a
juice?
smoothie out there.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you should have just said strawberry.
I don't think so.
Boy, he didn't have a Strawburst. He had some juice.
Yeah, but so to go back to like the lineup, because like everybody said different things with Vogt. I think that Malone is just like throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. There was that lineup that they went with, and also Malone has just shown like a shift in even his leadership style and the way that he's coaching right now because of all these changes that he's going with early in the season, because we've seen him be stubborn and it's like, no, I'm going to stick with this. This is why I'm doing this. But we're seeing like Justin Holiday, the Colin Gillespie was not working early. He switched to Jalen Pickett. He's playing new guys in different roles. Zeke Naji has had some, bad games, and he's like, okay, I'm still going to give it a try. Like, you're seeing him actually adjust and try to figure out different lineups, and he's gonna have to tinker with it, especially with Jamal out right now. But he has shown that he's going to give those guys a chance, an opportunity. Tonight, Peyton Watson didn't play.
I know,
and that was like
wild.
a part of their rotation. Like, he is trying different things. We saw Jalen Pickett and Colin Gillespie on at the same time.
We've
seen a lot of things in this game, really, that shows that he is trying different variations, different things. So like that is something to like pick up on early in this season, that there is a change.
And I think overall it's a positive. It's a positive development that Michael Malone's trying different lineups. He's playing the young guys. He's doing a lot of things that we have criticized him for in years past. He started off the season with Peyton Watson in the night-to-night rotation. He gave Colin Gillespie a shot. Now he's given Jalen Pickett a shot. I think that's a great move from him. He's stuck with Zeke Naji as the backup center for the entire season so far. I think that is the right move when I'm sure he's been frustrated a lot by Zeke so far this year. So overall, I've liked his philosophy on this stuff so far. And he talked about this before the New Orleans game, I believe. No, not the New Orleans game, the Clippers game. He talked about this before the Clippers game the other night at home. And he was just referencing how, look, our job this year, or one thing we have to do this year, is develop our young talent while trying to win another championship.
Yeah.
And that's something that not a lot of teams coming off a championship tried to do. The Warriors tried to do it
Yep.
a couple years ago and failed. Or I guess last year and failed.
Yeah.
They could not get the two timelines thing going. The Nuggets are trying to do a little different of a version than that. They're not like trying to replace their stars like I think the Warriors might have been.
Right.
But they're just trying to find the right role players to bring along, which is probably a better strategy. But I think Michael Malone, he knows what that goal is this year. And I think what he's done so far has kind of illustrated that. So.
Yes, and also everyone knows it. I'm sure the chat said it 1,000 times. Jamal is out, and we liked the way the same exact kind of thing was looking before he was out. For him to be out in the road games is a real double whammy. That doesn't mean, it's okay to be dissatisfied with other things we've seen and to expect better and want better. We have to talk about it on this show. Can't just say Jamal's out. But it is, that rotation and that dynamic that you just described of playing the younger guys and the depth this year, that's all strained by Jamal not being out in a way that makes it, really stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
It'd be better if they were navigating it, a little more smoothly, but that part looks even worse right now.
I mean, this is dare I say, the nadir.
There's that
we
word.
Hope, hey, knock on wood, I hope so, man.
Well, listen, every game without Jamal has been a struggle. They've won some of them. Some of them have been close. They've lost a few, but it's none of them have been smooth. When they came out, they were dominating. They looked like the champions. Mm-hmm. As every game that Jamal Murray has not played, it has been an absolute struggle to the end. You're like, oh my God, who's going to step up? Oh my God, who's going to do this? Where are we going to get scoring from the bench? This, that, the other. It's so important. It cannot be overstated how unbelievably important Jamal Murray is to this team and how he initiates the offense. I mean, Jokic is the fulcrum of the offense, but Jamal Murray, more often than not, has the ball in his hand and will actually initiate the offense, will allow Jokic to get in deep so he doesn't always have to start off above the arc. And, it just changes the dynamic of everything that they want to do. It's just, this is actually good. This is one of these things, this is a war of attrition. I don't know if you've heard this before about the NBA. It is an 82-game season. That is so many goddamn games. And it's good at this stage in the season when the Nuggets are still obviously in very good standing as far as the postseason is concerned, to find out about a lot of these guys and find out who they have. And tonight was just nothing worked. It just feels so much worse than it actually is at this moment because it was such a deeply dispirited effort from everybody. And nobody could make free throws. I mean, there was just stuff where you're like, bro, why just pack it up, man? Why are you wasting everybody's time with a game like this? Tonight's game was a waste of my time. I'm so mad I didn't go to the tailgate and that I'm not at the Broncos game right now.
It's bleeding
instead
into your
you're
analysis.
here with just your other coworkers.
I know, it sucks because I love my coworkers, but nights like tonight make me realize how little I want to hang out with them. You know what I mean?
Wow, I appreciate it. Well, on that note, let's head to another break. A lot more to get to on the other side.
Hey, if you're going to rewatch that game, put a pair of Shady Rays on at least. Protect your eyes. Protect your eyes. Sometimes life gets bright, it gets ugly. Messes with your eyes. That's where Shady Rays comes in. I'm trying to describe sunglasses. If this is a novel sunglasses are good. You can feel good, look good, and feel very confident about your purchase with Shady Rays, because Shady Rays wants you to shop without any risk. If you don't love them, exchange for a new pair, return them for free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. Their team always has your back, and they have the biggest sale of the year for Black Friday. Don't miss out on the best deals for shades, snow goggles, and prescription sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com and try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Ooh.
Kale, get the soundboard ready because I gotta tell the people about Red Hawk Roofing. Make the sound. Denver's best roofers have joined the DNVR team. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time, and most importantly, they're huge DNVR supporters. They watch this here show, which is why we're excited to tell you about them on this here show. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, it is November 19th. Be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com and tell them DNVR sent you.
Back here on the DNVR Nuggets postgame lounge presented by Bet365 Never Ordinary. The only other guy I've got real notes on tonight is Aaron Gordon. This was not a good Aaron Gordon game.
No.
This was a gross Aaron Gordon game,
This was
man.
so bad.
He had that great pass that you brought up where Jokic got the ball at the high post, or was going to. He was like double teamed or something. AG cut up the paint. Somebody passed to AG. He flicked it to Jokic, who was cutting to the rim after. Just a beautiful, beautiful high basketball IQ read on that. Other than that, though, this was a rough night, I thought, from Aaron Gordon. 4 of 11 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Just some really weird decisions in terms of some of the shots he took tonight, I thought.
Yeah, and also not very active in this game. And you kind of see him in these games that he doesn't have that defensive matchup. Like, there was no guy that he was like, I'm going to try to, defend. So, like, you see him step up in those games that there's, like, other wings that are pretty good. This was like a 2-center lineup, and he struggles mightily in those type of situations, both offensively and defensively, which earlier in the season, it seemed like he was getting better with just like the strength in those. But now, like, this was an aerial attack for him, and he could not step up. He tried to make the adjustment, but it was just like too little, too late. But you want to see him, one, start hitting shots, or teams are going to do exactly like they did in this game. They started playing back to like shoot it. They dared him to shoot it. And he shot it.
Every team is doing that these
days. It did not go in, and you're starting to see it more and more, and it's because they're not falling. And then also, like, the way that they packed the paint, the Cavs, it didn't give him the option to, like, go up and dunk it. Or, like, the oops where he's just open for the dunk. So, like, if they're taking away the three-point line or the shots from him because they're not falling, and then they're packing the paint, it's going to be hard for Aaron Gordon to be out there. And lastly, why is he still not making free throws? That is so crazy.
He lives on a basketball court.
He has a basketball court in his house.
There's no way. That could open up everything else on his offense.
Yes.
If you start consistently hitting free throws, maybe you feel like you're a shooter where you can open up things. Like, he should be doing nothing but shooting right now.
I'm not going to hold my breath for the free throws to come around. I think he's just not a good free throw shooter. But I do think his shot in general, whether from the free throw line or the three-point line, to me right now it looks worse than ever in a Nuggets uniform. And I don't mean that to sound too alarmist. It's just like there are general ways in which I like the way AG is playing. But that dynamic really matters without Jamal on the floor. Mm-hmm. And it's a big part of why it's been so frustrating for Jokic. They've been able to pack the paint. Goodness. We talked about Jokic taking so many threes. That's probably a big part of it. Is teams are daring him to shoot. And there are some moments where you go, look, in theory, you want him to shoot because he's got to be able to take and make those shots. And then there are other moments in a game where you're like, really needed 2 points there, and I didn't think for a second that shot was going in. So maybe that all is a little less drastic with Murray back in there. But right now, that particular dynamic, I think, is putting a strain on things more than ever.
Yeah. I mean, I really think everything, it's like you can trace back to AG has to fill a different role because Jamal Murray is out. Like, he can't really hang out in the dunker position. Tonight, he couldn't do it because the size for the Cavaliers just prevented him from really doing anything. But, he's not looked good for a little bit. It's just, man, this early part, when you hit lulls in an NBA season, it just feels so much worse. This is the never too high, never too low reminder for every NBA fan. We are the current reigning champions, and I've never felt worse about the Denver Nuggets in my entire life than I do right now, because now we are saddled with true expectation. Yeah. We know what they can do. And when it comes down to it, we know who we have, and we know who the Nuggets are. We know that they'll put the best 8 guys out on the court. Like, they'll shrink the lineup. Like, a lot of this stuff that you go through in the regular season ultimately will completely come out in the wash. But, man, we're here tonight, and we watched that game. Yeah. And Aaron Gordon does not look good right now. He does not look comfortable. It is strange, the dynamic of the Denver Nuggets and free throws in general. Like, nobody's hitting them. Jokic is not hitting them. Aaron Gordon is not hitting them. They're not being awarded them. It's just like just like one of these things, like another thing that you're like, and that, and this. Yep. So, I don't know what you do.
Do you guys have any other notes on any other players tonight?
Well, the funny thing is the bench was good tonight. I mean, good's a stretch. But if you look at the plus minus, it's the starters got killed tonight and the bench, did okay. I mean,
I think a lot of that might be fourth quarter.
A lot of it is. And to say the bench played well tonight, you're right, is actually kind of a stretch.
Two bench guys were in there for that big run.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. I mean, Christian had some of it going. Zeke actually wasn't horrendous tonight. Defensively, he wasn't great. Actually, wasn't good, but I really liked his activity.
He had 2 tip-ins at the rim, which were nice.
9 points, 4 rebounds.
He did have that awful turnover where he tried to pass it.
Some steps in the right direction. You're right, though.
Paint.
Ultimately, the bench plus minus is inflated by that 4th, so that's a stretch the way I frame that.
All right, let's hit our final break. On the other side, we'll go around the association. We'll hit super chats as well. I don't even know if we're going to have time for Agenda Corner today.
Can we pick up the other side maybe like tomorrow? Cut it off here, take a real break.
Just a actual break.
Just off.
Yeah. Might have to postpone Agenda Corner until Monday.
What? All right. Well, everybody start to take note of their own personal agendas.
Set your alarm clock. Set your reminder. Agenda Corner Monday, 3:15.
Let's check in on the agendas.
Sorry, we take another break?
Yeah.
I was too busy.
No, you're good.
Looking at that sad box score. Hey, when you've been injured at work and it's not your fault, you've been injured in a car accident, on a motorcycle, maybe as a pedestrian, and again, it was not your fault. Don't panic. Find your phone, call 222-2222, or head to coloradolaw.net because you want to speak with Backus and Shanker. They will not charge you for a consultation. They will not charge you to take on your case until they've won your case. And they have won cases. In fact, they've won over $1 billion for their clients over the years. They have offices in Denver, Aurora, Englewood, and Fort Collins. So again, if you've been hurt when it wasn't your fault, car accident, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks, even if it was just at work, call them at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker. And what do? They win.
And important to know, neither Backus nor Shanker is out for the rest of the month. Their 2-man game fully intact, dude.
That's just
you can count on them.
They don't have to rely on their backup lawyers.
Can you imagine if you call him
backup
like,
Backus?
Hey, Shanker here. You're like, I was actually looking for Backus. And he's like, strained hamstring.
He's out for the foreseeable future. Yeah. Just hang up at that point.
Hey, look, the Nuggets will figure this thing out. They are 9-4. Colorado Avalanche figured their thing out just last night, right? They won last night. Typically speaking, Ball Arena is the place to be. The Nuggets are 7-0 in Ball Arena. So if you see one of those two teams playing and you realize you don't have tickets yet to the game, bust out your phone and pull up the Game Time app, because with Game Time, you can get the best prices on the best seats at the last possible second. Download the Game Time app now, create an account, and use code DNVR. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off.
Back here on the DNVR Nuggets postgame lounge, presented by Bet365. Nuggets fall to the Cavs, 121-109. Let's go to around the association. A lot of games in the association this evening. A bunch of them are final, it looks like. Or a few of them are final. Dev, can you take us through some of these?
Yeah, a few are finals. A few of them are still going. We'll start with the team that's just letting anybody and everybody score on them. That's the Pacers versus the Magic. The Magic got a win. Magic came into the game as the #1 defense in the NBA. The Pacers, #1 offense in the NBA. Who do you think won this one?
Magic.
Defense wins every time.
Defense wins every time. 128, 116.
Except for the times it loses.
Yeah, those are the ones. Those are the exceptions.
Yeah, there's exceptions. Bankero had 24 points in this game. A few people had double digits. Wagner had 19 points.
Wait.
The incredible
Gary
Franz Wagner.
Harris had 13 points.
Gary, let's go.
Let's
Three
go.
of three from deep.
Even the other
There's going to
Wagner
be a
brother
lot
got
of there's going to be a lot of momentum to get Gary Harris off the Magic. I feel
We got to
like.
not do it 1 year in Denver. I'm just saying.
I'm still holding my breath for Kevin Love.
That one's still coming through with Dwayne Wade.
I just want
We were great in that meeting though.
The only
free
players
agent
I'm
meeting.
interested in are players we formerly had or white guys. I want Alex Caruso, Kevin Love, Gary Harris, end of list.
Just
Okay.
like for novelty, right? Not because that's your.
No,
Not
I'm
because you're
racist.
prejudiced. Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
The Raptors get the 142-113 win over the team that the Nuggets are playing tomorrow. 142-113. Detroit Pistons, they lose every damn game. Every game.
Oh, the Nuggets are going
Let's
to lose
put
this
that
game
there.
now.
Is this a must-win for the Nuggets?
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
no.
Yes.
If you lose that game, you're in hell.
Dude,
There's
yeah.
no purgatory. You're in hell
Yeah,
if
we're
you
not.
lose that game.
Sadly, yes. It is an absolute must-win game for the Denver Nuggets. Our vibes, high as they were 2 weeks ago, cannot take that beating.
If the Nuggets lose that game, I might have to down that Christmas cake.
We're doing this.
This
year.
might be the night.
You know that I literally put that on set as a constant reminder.
I had a feeling that was the case.
Yeah, enjoy that skunked mini keg of Christmas ale.
That's definitely skunk.
It's going to be sick. Make sure
Yeah.
we film that.
I will take down a whole Christmas keg, but it's got to be a different one.
It's got to be a while.
Brush your teeth first.
In this game, Siakam had 23 points to lead all scores. Everybody scored for the Raptors. It just was like a lot of double-digit, performances from them. On Detroit's side of things, they don't have much going for them. It's Cade Cunningham that does everything for them. Stanley Umude had 19 points.
That's a Google job.
That's
Who he played for, right?
That's who they led him. I bet you Charles Barkley he'd be like, what?
So would we.
If you're looking at this Pistons box score, though, they had one player in their starting five score more than 10 points.
Jeez, man.
Oh, no.
Four out of five members of their starting five had 9 or less points in this game.
They are bad. They are bad. And another thing to just slap us, while we're already down, the Sixers are good.
No, they're not good. They're very good.
Not only are they good, Embiid might have took the lead on MVP right now with this skid that the Nuggets are on, and they're winning every single game.
No,
I
this
guess the
bar
Bucks
does
are good.
not like Joel Embiid.
Yeah, that was unfortunate timing.
Joel Embiid had a soundboard double in this game.
It's getting worse. Oh, my God.
32 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. What is happening over there? Tyrese Maxey has 25 and 10. They have a two-man game.
The worst part
going.
is the
This
vibes are
horrible,
tremendous.
man.
Dude, they're tremendous.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate when others are happy. That's only for us.
Lonnie Walker is the one that led the Nets. He's been playing really well. 26 points in this one. Those are the games that have ended. There are a few that's going on right now. The Mavs are losing right now by 2 to the Kings. Phoenix is getting they're beating the Utah Jazz right now. It's the only other two games.
Phoenix is beating the Jazz?
Yeah.
Yep. And then Boston has a 3-point lead over the Memphis Grizzlies.
The Marcus Smartless Memphis Grizzlies. He's injured. Memphis is officially in trouble.
Yeah.
John's gonna come back. They're gonna be out of time.
It's going to be too late. No,
They're
they
gonna be out of time.
literally penalized the Memphis Grizzlies with an entire season for Ja Morant menacing by holding a gun. It's the craziest thing. I mean, he was totally out of pocket. The craziest thing ever. It cost them a full season, 2 seasons.
Probably. If we just look at the remaining road trip for the Nuggets, like I've said a lot during this show, they are at the Pistons tomorrow night, back-to-back. Is that their first back-to-back of the season? No, they had Dallas, Chicago
had-
back-to-back
yeah,
at
yeah,
home.
yeah.
But this one is on the road at the Pistons, who have lost 11 in a row. Then they go at the Magic. Then they go at the Rockets.
Yo, it does
How do
not
we
get
think
easier.
the rest of this road trip winds up?
I'm going to give them 2 wins. They're going to win tomorrow. I guarantee they're going to win. They're going to smack. They're going to smack the Pistons.
They
I
are
do
gonna
believe.
smack the Pistons tomorrow.
Listen, like the Nuggets are. The Nuggets will also. They were there. They saw this game.
Yeah.
This was embarrassing. Like, this is not becoming of an NBA champion. Like, you don't have this kind of effort and then roll back out and give the same level of effort. Plus, obviously, we're talking about different levels of competition, but the Nuggets are going to win tomorrow for sure. And then it's like kind of a toss-up. I don't know. Houston, very formidable, as it turns out now for the Denver Nuggets.
Orlando and Houston are going to be 2 difficult games.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I do think Orlando's playing well right now. I kind of think Denver gets tomorrow's game and the Houston game. They owe Houston one.
They do.
And it's a tournament game that matters. I could see them really kind of playing inspired ball in that one. Orlando one is sneaky tricky. I mean, they're
It's going to be a tough game.
They fall apart in clutch times, in the crunch sometimes, but they're largely competitive outside of that.
They gave
And
the
so
Nuggets
that's a
problems.
tough one on the road.
They
Sneaky tough one, I should say.
They gave the Nuggets problems last year. You remember the Nuggets needed a last-second Jokic miracle
Buzzer beater.
on a game that we were there for them to win.
Yeah. All right, let's get to a couple Super Chats. We'll wrap it up for today.
Nadine
Dude,
Marcus.
The sicko
Shout out
Super
Nadine.
Chats, man. I love it.
Nadine, this is her first and only chat of the night, I'm sure. I'm positive. Just kidding, Nadine. Thank you. Tony Brothers had it in for the Nuggets, says Nadine.
We can't go there, and you're so goddamn right.
You
What
might
else
be
we
right,
got?
Nadine. The Nuggets have a great record when Tony Brothers refs games just because they're a really good basketball team and they can overcome it. But if you look at their record against the spread, they are under 500 in Tony Brothers games. That tells you something.
Mile High Sing. I blame Tony Brothers. I'm sensing a theme. All the Nuggets are good.
Yo,
All
the
right.
Nuggets were awful tonight, but Tony Brothers is truly the worst referee in the NBA, bar none.
Yeah, it's not even about like what he does to the Nuggets specifically. It's just whenever a team plays a game that Tony Brothers is
Dude,
reffing.
I know the name of like 3 NBA referees,
Yeah.
and 2 of them are Tony Brothers.
What else do we got? Super Dope Hip Hop, Pacers season ticket holder since 87-88, center court row, 9/11/13. A big Jokic LeBron fan. In my opinion, they have the worst MVP level superstar whistles ever. This is the correct take.
Yeah.
This is like the one.
This is a great take.
The one thing where LeBron and Jokic fans, well, court vision, but like handshake meme is like both of their guys, and I think we've all were fans of their careers at different points. Terrible whistles, legendarily terrible whistles,
The reason being is that they're both like unreasonably strong,
and good.
and they're not knocked off their spot like a James Harden or a Russell Westbrook, and they don't flail their head back. They just actually follow through and finish, and so they're like,
Jokic never shot a floater without an elbow hit, and LeBron's never dunked without being hit in the top of the head, like ever. All right, what else do we got? That's it.
That's it. Guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. Nuggets losing Cleveland, but glad we got the chance to talk it out with all of you.
I feel genuinely better. I love
I do too. I always feel a little
therapeutic
better.
losers
You went
round.
through it on
We
this one.
needed that. We
Yeah.
needed that.
We needed that.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you can, throw us a quick thumbs up before you get out of here tonight. We'd really appreciate it. Subscribe so you know whenever we go live as well. We'll be back tomorrow, I believe, with a show 3:15. We'll be right here in these exact same chairs.
There's a game.
Oh, we got a game tomorrow.
There's a game, bro.
And we also got a last
It's
second
Detroit.
buzzer beater super chat.
I'm sorry, we got a game tomorrow, so we'll be right here at what time's the game?
It's a
Game's at 5, so we'll be right here
It's
at
a
5:30 tomorrow.
4:30
4:30 tomorrow.
Josh Barnett from down under. Sicko chat, missed your D-line. At least you're back.
So, ultimate sicko chat. Holy
Yeah,
smokes.
at least you're back and we're taking L. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
the mayor.